Hello, everyone, and welcome to our North America and Europe session for this Global Construction Tech program. We are really happy to have you with us. We'll be sharing our screen. I think the last of our registered participants will join when we begin. Alrighty, perfect. For those who do not know me, I'm Zineb. I'm a senior consultant at Impulse Partners, and I will be your host today for this session, which is focused on digital construction. I know some of you already know us, know Impulse, and welcome back. I see that we have Nick from Barton Mallow, Rodrigo and Mauricio from Progresso X, of course, our friends from the Civic Labs who will be presenting, and also from Alice Dunn. Thanks, Olivia, for being here, and Diego from Kiwit Corp. Hopefully, we have our other partners from Saint-Gobain, Owens Corning, Bouygues, Aqua Ventures who will be here. There are some startups friends, also Korean. We are welcoming for 1 month in France that are joining, and of course the startups that will be presenting today. So here you can see the agenda for today. We have the honor to have Yoga from the Civic Labs and Olivia from Alice Dunn, who will be presenting their activities, and their presentations will be followed by the pitch of 4 startups. At the end of each presentation, feel free to ask your questions. I know generally on Teams people are quite shy, but don't be, and you can type them down, activate your microphones, or of course send us an email or text after the session, and we can make the contacts. Before having the presentations of the speakers, a few words about the contact program. Most of you already know. At Impulse, we are passionate about innovation, and especially in the construction sector. Our goal and main objective is to speed up innovation in construction, real estate, energy, and infrastructure, and bring together the key players of these sectors in a global scale. To do so, we have developed for over a decade now a global ecosystem of entrepreneurs, tech firms, VCs, and decision makers that play a vital role in accelerating innovation, driving economic growth, and solving complex and societal challenges. Impulse Partners is currently, as you can see here, bringing together companies from around the world to execute a global initiative to boost construction tech innovation, accelerate go-to-market strategies, but also, and very importantly, help startups scale. Today, we support over 20 players around the world with their innovation challenges. We have also an ecosystem of more than 3,000 startups today that we have identified, qualified, and that around 1,000 are part of our innovation platforms. We have helped for a decade now over 200 startups with their collaborations with corporate groups. So we have supported numerous entrepreneurship projects, and we have also been involved in multiple investment deals with the corporate venture capitals and investment funds we are collaborating with. Just maybe also a few words about the programs. Some of you already know that we are supporting with our clients and partners. For example, CRH Ventures, we have supported them in their water management and then Roads of the Future Accelerator program. Same for Barton Mallow. And today also with Hitachi Construction Machinery on a challenge to identify startups in the equipment construction sectors. And with Alice Dunn, more specifically, we'll have, of course, more detailed info from Olivia. The first challenges we did regrouped some quite varied teams. So for the first edition, 100 startups applied, 8 were selected for a pitch day, and 3 have entered discussions with Alice Dunn operating teams to plan a pilot. And the second accelerator program took place quite recently. The demo day was last week at Toronto, and I think Olivia will tell us more about that. So we are very proud at Impulse to help tailor to all scopes of problems, no matter how narrow or wide, help our partners and clients understand the opportunities and capitalizing on solutions in a structured and mannered approach. And we have been trying for a few months to do the same with the Civic Labs. And Yogev will let us know more about this initiative too. So this was just an overview of our activity, but as always, if you have any question, if you are interested in learning more about what we do and how we can help you, please don't hesitate to reach out. So coming up today, we will hear first 2 corporate investor presentations from Yogev Katsir, CEO of Civic Labs, and then Olivia Brown, Digital Construction Manager from Alice Dunn. Then 4 startups will be presenting. We'll have Morgane Guinaud, who is the CEO of Mobility Work, then Brice Bragado and Simon Lorne, Innovation and Commercial Directors of the VisualBox, will present their startup. We'll have then Adrian Zomke, Founders Associate of our team. And finally, we'll have Sakti Selvakumaran, the CEO of BKY, who will have a chance to present us his startup. I do invite you, like I already said, to ask your questions if you have any, and during the presentation to mute your mics and activate them if you want to speak up. Well, to start off this session, I'm glad to have you again with us. We had you this morning for the Asia and Europe session. Thanks, Yogev, for being here, and I'll give you the floor.
Zeynep, Yogev has logged out for some reason unexpectedly. He's checking in again, so he'll be in soon.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, either you want to present or we can maybe begin with Alice Dunn. If Olivia is up to it.
I think we should be okay. Just one more second. Let's wait for another minute and an hour or so, and then if not, then we can switch definitely. Yeah, I apologize for that.
We can adapt. Yeah, because I saw him at the beginning of the session. I think he must have a connection problem.
Yeah, he's actually in the desert.
Oh.
Yeah.
That explains everything.
I wish it was like sunnier early in the day so he can show around because it's beautiful. I love the desert landscape, but definitely he'll log in again and.
Yeah, no worries. I think if it's okay with you,
okay,
Olivia,
let's switch.
Yeah, sure. I think we can have Olivia present us Alice Dunn, and then Yogev can present.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing, and then we can swap. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Hi, Olivia. No problem. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
Perfect. Okay, I will share my screen. Let me know if you can all see.
We can.
Perfect. I see some nods. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. Good day, everyone. My name is Olivia Brown, as Zeynep mentioned, and I'm the Digital Construction Manager at Alice Dunn Construction here in Canada. And so Impulse has kindly asked me to share a little bit about our annual Contech Accelerator event. So just last week, as Zeynep mentioned, we finished off the second annual Contech Accelerator with the support of Impulse. So first of all, huge thank you to the team. That was Alice, Michael, Thomas, Demarie, and many others, I'm sure, for all of their assistance in helping us make the event a huge success. So before I get into the results from this year, I want to give you a little bit of history on Alice Dunn's It looks short, but I assure you it is a very deep history in construction technology. So in 2022, we launched the formal pilot program where we had roughly 10 pilots active, 20 in the pipeline. But I can assure you that coming from the site side, there have been many informal pilots over the years of Elliston. Many coordinators, superintendents have come to the table and said, hey, I found a software, let's try it. Whether they ask for approval or not, it really speaks to our entrepreneurial enthusiasm was one of our core values at Elliston. So with the pilot program, we can now provide the framework and the support to really help these teams test and verify and ensure that the pilots are, what we need for our business and are actually going to benefit both sides of the fence. So in 2023, we launched the annual accelerator program where we had over 100 applicants. And then this year we actually had over 160 applicants, which was fabulous. So both the accelerator and the pilot programs really allow us to engage with startup companies in a more meaningful way. We're giving our operations teams a chance to interact directly with the startup companies and giving those companies a chance to refine their use cases, identify potential gaps both on their side and potentially on our side in our contact ecosystem, and also brainstorm new features that might help the overall product market fit for them. So as we clarify our needs and they clarify their product, this allows us to determine if we're going to potentially buy a solution. Like for example, MC Things is a startup here in Canada that we've purchased dozens and dozens of their IoT sensors. Or potentially we want to look at a strategic partnership with a company where we can work together, have regular meetings, check-ins to help them develop their product for us to help deploy it on more sites and have it become an integral part of our business. Or perhaps we look at building something in-house, which we've done in the past for several of our solutions. So how do we run a successful pilot program? Well, fortunately, we have a huge delegate of operations employees consisting of project managers, superintendents, estimators, who are all very excited to share both their experiences and lessons learned with these companies to help improve the product and improve the operations on site. So we want to identify those needs that they have on site, look at the options out there, and then conduct these pilot programs to really set the framework and the KPIs to determine if it's a success. So as we all know, there are many facets to construction and dozens of solutions that claim to revolutionize these facets. And so what we're striving to do is when we do a pilot program is making sure that the environment we're testing it in is appropriate, but also challenges the solution against our typical way of doing things or our baseline. And as you can see from these two quotes, these are two of our most senior superintendents and project managers. And we've had great feedback from them on some of these new and exciting things that have just come up in the last few years. And it really challenges their perception of this is how I've done something for 30 years, and this is how we can potentially move forward and teach the younger generation as they move into the workforce. So some of the startups that we've deployed pilot programs with, you can see all the logos here. I won't go through all of them, but we also have these 5 on the side here and potentially a few more for upcoming pilots, which is really exciting. And then back to the accelerator. So the main goal, as it's been noted in the name, is to really accelerate the growth of these contact companies. And we're doing so by becoming an ideal partner to share our domain expertise with their technical expertise. So it's really that call to action, which I'll provide the website at the end if you want to learn more. We have that big pitch day where we have a huge event where we've got C-suite executives, we have operations managers, field staff who are all there to learn and provide their feedback on the product. And then if it's a winner, then we go into this pilot stage where we test it out, we see what the feedback is, work on that relationship, and then potentially move into a partnership or an enterprise. So how can we accelerate this actual growth in the center space? We want to provide all that guidance from, like I mentioned, those operations staff who have that deep experience in the field, in the office. They can mentor from their perspective of how they've done things over time and provide that feedback to the startups. We want to give the companies visibility by exposing them to target customers, other vendors, the rest of the marketplace in Canada here especially. And then obviously, like I mentioned, going into a pilot program, testing out their tool, either within a department, within a project, or across the whole company. We've also been very active in networking, working through events in Canada to provide exposure for those companies. And then the way that we filter out what companies we want to invite to the accelerator, we can divide them into these 5 buckets, which are really key to our operation. So I won't go through all of them specifically, but the key ones this year at the accelerator that we saw were productivity and efficiency, environmental and sustainability, as well as health and safety. So at the accelerator, like I mentioned, we've had judges from across the company. We had our CEO, COO, our heads of health and safety and environment, capital services, construction sciences, sustainability, quality, and operations. So last year's winners, if you haven't heard, if you haven't seen, we had Provision, which is an AI company that uses their AI tool to parse and review risks within project contract documents. We have the Link AI, which uses AI to go through contract specifications and to pull out a submittal log. And then we also have SiteLink, which goes through, which uses BIM as a reality capture tool, and you can use it on mobile to go through your quality and site progress documents. So this year, I can gladly announce that we had our 8 finalists. We have Dig Robotics from Israel, Boxlock from Georgia, EHAB from the UK, Civ from California, Gant from Ontario, Canada, Salus from BC, Canada, Spectre Automation all the way from Germany, and Sensitech from Texas. So right now we're going through the process of reviewing with our judges all the scores, and we hope to announce the winners within the next 2 weeks here. So I know that was a very quick slideshow. I hope that gave you a great overview of both our accelerator and our pilot program. And if you'd like to learn more, our website is up on the screen. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much, Olivia. It was really interesting, and congrats again on this really great accelerator. Do we have some questions in the audience for Alisdon?
Yeah, can you hear me all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation. I'm so very much excited. My name is Wilfred. I'm based off in Texas. In regards to the next accelerator program for next year, when is that going to?
So the waitlist is open now, so you can submit an application via the website that's up on the screen, and the event will likely be similar time next year in that September-October range.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks again, and we look forward to hearing the news about the laureates and the solutions you will be working with.
Great, thank you so much.
Thanks again, Olivia. Well, I think Yogev has managed to join again. Hi again, thanks for your patience.
I'm sorry, apologies for all the technical difficulties.
No problem, go ahead.
So thank you, Gineb. We are brand new, but we feel that we are in the right place. We are in the built environment business, construction, real estate, infrastructure, utilities, as well as urban and municipal activities, with more than 10% of the global GDP and physical assets worth trillions of dollars. The field of built environment is the largest business sector in the world. We are targeting 2 main challenges in this sector. The first, moving to a low carbon economy. The built environment sector produces about 40% of global CO2 emissions, and a result of climate change, it is also expected to losses of $850 billion a year. The second, technological development. We feel that the technological change have not yet affected the field. It's not really part of the daily life of a worker in construction site. The industry is still limited with its productivity, and we have the lowest digital penetration in the world. Those are the reasons that led us to establish Civic Labs, to develop and commercialize technological solutions that will create fundamental changes in real construction site, and to accelerate the transition to a low carbon economy, and to increase productivity in the industry. To this end, we assembled a group of players with unique expertise and proven experience. We compete and won an Israeli Innovation Authority tender. Our partners, first of all, Impulse Partner, which you already know, the leading global innovation platform. Other partners are Shibumi, a Swiss venture capital fund that focuses only on early-stage built environment startups. We also have a GCC partner, and together we hope one day to cooperate on a cross-border regional cooperation. Finally, the industry. There is no substitute for a direct and professional connection with the needs and challenges that exist in the field. That's why we joined Baran Group, the largest engineering company in Israel. A public traded company operates in Israel and around the world. We have two main activities at Civic Labs. We have the startup activity and the partnership activity. With the startup section, we include venture creation and also investment vehicle that we are establishing. But I want to discuss about our startup program, which serves us as the primary gateway for deal flow. Each startup is supported by a dedicated team of experienced professionals, along with industry experts from Israel and across the globe. Participants gain access to cutting-edge R&D infrastructure and spanning from basic research to field demonstrations, including laboratory equipment and opportunities for real-world experimentation in active projects. The program aims to provide comprehensive professional support to approximately 60 startups over the 5 years. We have already selected 5 promising Israeli startups, among them Skyline Cockpit. Skyline Cockpit aims to solve bottlenecks on construction sites, leading to costly delays and accidents. Skyline Cockpit uses advanced and diverse technologies to remotely operate cranes. I have seen in my own eyes their system in New York. The crane is in Israel, and they are operating it on a construction site completely, efficiently, and safely. And if you didn't see them on BBC last week, I recommend you to do so. I'm confident, we are confident, that Skyline Cockpit solution will set the industry standard in the years to come. Rapida is another promising Israeli startup. Aging infrastructure leads to significant losses, with 40% of a $9 trillion budget wasted annually. The US alone has 56,000 deficient bridges, and Rapida's solution is aiming exactly for that. It includes a cloud-based AI engine for inspections and civil engineers using machine learning and 3D computer vision to generate precise structural insights for targeted and efficient maintenance. The market is huge, and they have already customers like the Israeli National Water Infrastructure Company. We are quite confident that they're on the right way to scale up. The second component of Civic Labs activity includes structured partnerships at the local, regional, and global level. We have created a circle of global strategic partners, the largest and leading business corporations in the industry. We are open for collaborations, and we invite each and every one of you to reach out, to engage, and don't forget to follow our activity on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Yogev. Thank you for presenting us Civic Labs. Do we have some questions from the audience about the Civic Labs? I think not. So, as always, you have the LinkedIn page, you have the info. If you want to connect with Rosie, Yogev, and the Civic Labs team, please let us know. Thanks again to our corporate speakers. I'm very happy now to pass along to the startups presentation and to Morgane Guinaud, CEO of Mobility Work. Hi, Morgane.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, very good.
Great. Shall I go? It's my turn?
Yes, for sure. You can share your screen if you want.
Oh, you don't have the presentation
We do.
on your side?
We can just let us know next slide, and we can go ahead.
Perfect. If you could, that would be perfect. Thank you so much. So first of all, hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm the CEO and founder of Mobility Work, which is a solution for maintenance management with our customers to unlock the power of streamlined maintenance. And with Mobility Work, you can uniformize, centralize, pilot, optimize the management of your maintenance activities in one single platform. So we can go to the next slide, please. So for those who are already familiar, those who have lived the deployment of a classic maintenance management system, CMMS, we propose actually just the opposite of what you have gone through. So if you're tired of 12 to 24 months projects, complex ERP modules, complex and costly integrations, no use of your CMMS, and Excel files and papers on the side, then we can go to the next slide, please. Then welcome to Mobility Work, which is the first plug-and-play maintenance management platform to improve your maintenance maturity in 3 weeks. We were created on the field, for the field, and we are used by the field people. We have a mobile app enabling you to seize your intervention reports easily thanks to voice and camera input. We have a web application to prepare, optimize the teamwork, to create the standards and guidance, and to analyze your dashboards and your KPIs. And we are fully integrated with your IT ecosystem, being, of course, your ERP, but also your MES, your PDCA platforms, your BI platforms. So we really integrate in this ecosystem through different kinds of APIs and integrations. You can go to please. So once again, we were born, if you can just go on and click, we have 3 main challenges. We were actually born on an industrial group, and we were born from the failure of the implementations of different CMMS tools. And we were able to observe the main challenges that the maintenance teams were facing. The first challenge is really data accessibility. We have teams that are running around the plants and covering very long distances, while needed data is confined to the maintenance office. The second issue, we address the struggle of adopting complex IT tools. And the third issue, these recurring communication issues at various levels, being internally in their company, in their plants, or outside these plants, within a group of different plants, or even with their suppliers. So we can go on the next one. Thank you very much. With Mobility Work, actually, we address these challenges with an intuitive and collaborative solution to make your maintenance team more efficient and enable them to, we cover the whole spectrum of maintenance. So we enable them to identify, plan, prepare, but also to execute their work orders and find flows, analyze, and follow up for continuous improvement. Next slide, please. Today, Mobility Work, it's more than 400 plants deployed in more than 35 countries, more than 15 sectors, and more than 45,000 happy users. We are present in automotive, cosmetics, construction, metallurgy, agri-food, but also other sectors like energy, logistics, packaging, textile, and please, thank you very much. We are a French company. We are 20% in the team. We are driving operational excellence by enhancing maintenance management. We are also certified ISO 001, compliant with the FDA norms, and of course, compliant with GDPR. Next, please. And by joining Mobility Work, you can actually join the test and learn methodology. So you will get, your teams will get to be more efficient and your organization more agile. you will save, and what our customers usually save, 100% of your time and your team. Actually, these are the two first top return on investment you can see on the slide. In actually the preparation and the implementation and deployment of a CMMS project. Mobility Work is just a SaaS application. You just need a login and a password to start managing your maintenance with Mobility Work. And the other benefits our customers are seeing by using Mobility Work is 50% of the time saved in maintenance preparation. So preparing interventions, maintenance interventions, the time is divided by 2, and 20% saved on maintenance costs for equipment. We can go on the next one, please. To put it in a nutshell, actually, we are here to help you improve security, meet your maintenance plans needs. We provide an easy to deploy, an easy to use SaaS application. We offer an alternative to long and complex projects, and we propose a solution to harmonize your group standards. Next one, please. And just because our customers usually speak better than us, an example, for instance, if we take the first one of the director at L'Oréal, he's stating that Mobility Work is a game changer for them. It's a real support for the management of technical teams, and it's part of their operational excellence policy. They are very complete. Just please, next slide. I just quickly mention as a final word, as I know there might be some investors among you, that we are actually in course of raising 3 million euros to continue deploying and developing our platform and vision. And I guess that I said everything I needed in the time that is allowed to spend with you. So I thank you very much for your attention, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you so much, Morgane, for introducing us and telling us more about Mobility Work. Thanks for the presentation, and we'll be passing over the info of your fundraising and, of course, your pitch deck. In the audience, does anyone have any question for Morgane? Okay, note for now. As always, let us know if you want to connect afterwards. We'll make sure to put you in touch. Thanks again, Morgane, and talk soon.
Thank you very much to all of you, and have a nice day or evening.
Thank you. Well, thanks again, and I'm happy now to have Brice Bragato and Simon Lorne, who will present the VisuBox, a company that specializes in providing site monitoring and time-lapse video solutions for construction projects. Hi again, Brice, and hi, Simon. The floor is yours.
Hello, Zineb. Thank you again for this new opportunity this afternoon, French time. And thank you, everybody, to join this presentation. So I will start sharing my screen. With me, Simon. Simon is the sales director of the North America. So it will be there if you have a question about our technology and our product. And so start sharing my screen. Okay. Let's go. So, in fact, today I would like to talk with you about how to prevent risk with AI on a construction site. The context is that in North America, every second, 14 workers falls victim to a workplace accident. So what does it mean in practical terms? First of all, employees' lives and well-being are at risk. But it also creates a massive impact on project timelines, causing delays and increasing costs for construction companies. What can we do to make construction sites safer? historically, safety action on construction sites have been only reactive. That means we have to deal with the accident after they happened on the construction site. And of course, the damage, the physical, financial, but also emotional, is already done. And for us, the solution is the prevention. We can save lives, reduce injuries, and avoid additional costs by stopping accidents before they take place, of course. And this trend is confirmed on the market when we look at the priorities outlined in the health and safety policies of a major company we are working with. The top priority is zero accident is a real objective in the future. This is where the technology and especially AI comes into the game. So I love this sentence, the AI comes into the game. So thanks to AI, we now have the capability to monitor construction site in real time and to detect the risky situations. So it allows us to focus on risk detection by implementing an automated process, by helping the human decision and the safety supervision, but also by catching potential dangers. And after this short introduction about the challenge, I would like just to introduce now our HSE monitoring platform. I will share a very quick demonstration of the platform before continuing the presentation. So I will move to my second screen. Okay, so basically, I think now you're able to see our HSE monitoring platform. In fact, the current platform is like a Google Map construction site project, I will say, because you have in one shot all the project available for your companies. So of course you can access the project depending the privileges you have in the user right. But in this example, for example, I'm connected as an administrator and I can see all the projects available on my account and on my platform. I can select one of the projects to move into the project and we'll be able to filter what I need to see, the focus I would like to do, to check and to alert the team if there is a problem. So I will do my test site here, Emily. I know I have a nice picture, so it's working. Demo effect, maybe. Okay, let me check once again. So I will move back on the project. Okay, this one. Yeah. Okay, so now I move into my specific project. I would like to check the rules, check if the helmet is well wearing, and so on and so on. I can select specific date. I can select what I need to focus on. For example, I would like to check, I am a safety manager, and I would like to check if on this project, the helmet is well present on all the images. So I will check that with the presence of people. I could do the same check with the vehicles on my project. But to be very focused on what I want to do, I will check the helmet. And if we check the presentation and the images, for example, I can see here my filter with the helmet is on, and the system will show me if a picture, if someone on the image is not wearing the helmet. So in this case, we can see someone outside the area. So it's not a good example. I will show you what I have on the second picture here. Okay. So for this one, for example, once again, I can check if there is a helmet alert on my site. So the first guy here, I can count it. It's okay, but we can look at the second one in the excavator. So there isn't the helmet. So it's not a problem in this case. So I will move forward to another images. And like that, like a safety manager, I will be able to check the helmet, the jacket, the chin strap, the harness is what we are detecting today, but we are improving step by step all the detection. We can do the counting of all the people on the images, and of course, we can detect all around 15 type of vehicles on the picture. So this is a quick demonstration of what we can do, what we can check with the monitoring associated with the AI for these specific topics. I will continue this presentation now. So after this demonstration of the HEC platform monitoring, I would like to be focused on our key advantage today is we are a unique provider. We install our own photo camera to capture every moment. The images are sent to the HEC platform where AI analysis process begins. And finally, you will receive an alert if there is a problem, and you will be able to alert, of course, the team on the ground, but also to check all the images on the platforms. This all-in-one service is the VisuBox's real strength, and we could continue by comparing why we are using photo camera instead of video. In fact, photo cameras that allows us to offer a more cost-effective and eco-friendly solution by reducing the installation cost, storage and transmission cost, and also the carbon footprint. And our photo cameras are fully autonomous, requiring no external energy and connectivity. That's a very important point in our strategy. Next year, so maybe end of this year, but I prefer to talk about next year, we will be able to offer on the market a new kind of photo camera with a frequency close to what the video is able to offer today. It's a strong request of the market, and we will be able to offer that in a few months. So our business model is very simple. There is a renting for the equipment and subscription for the platform. If you need one photo camera plus one AI detection is around $400 for 1 month for a project over 12 months. And finally, I would like just to share my vision. At the VisuBox, we approach AI with the mindset of a startup, with innovation, the improvement, the development, and also still trying to progress on the market and to progress with the technology. Our mission from now is to prevent risk before they happen, of course, and to make construction sites safer for all by providing equipment and AI tools in collaboration with the safety manager. That's our mission for the next few years. So if you have any question, Simon is there from North America, and I'm based in France, so I'll be able to see if you have a question about the product or the strategy. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Brice. Do we have any questions from the audience? And hi, Simon.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Me too. Well, we'll make sure to send Simon's and Brice's contacts for any questions you might have, and if you want to connect with the VisuBox.
Yeah, just kind of a small thing. It's we're working today with most of the biggest contractors in Canada, but we don't focus enough on safety aspects. We're mainly focusing on the time-lapse aspect. So it's coming. It's becoming a good trend. We know there's so much more to do. So I'm happy to discuss with you if you want to really hear more about this.
Duly noted. Thanks, Simon. Thanks again to the VisuBox team. I'm very happy now to have Adrian from our team who will present us their aerial intelligence platform, which uses drone and satellite data combined with the computer vision and the machine learning to automatically generate digital models for CAD and BEAM.
Yes.
Hi, and
hi. Thank you so much, Zineb. Thanks for having us. I will just, again, quickly share my screen. I hope you guys can see by now the presentation. Cool. All right, then let's not waste time. Yeah, as I said, happy to be here. And as already introduced, we are here and we want to create next level 3D design for construction and solar companies. What do we want to do exactly? What is our vision at AirTeam? We want to empower every solar and construction company to make better decisions using drone data, cutting edge software and artificial intelligence. So let's first talk about the problem before we get to the solution. Technically, a lot of construction projects nowadays, when it comes to mass determination, the processes, they are mainly still manually done somehow by measuring tape, laser meter, counting bricks, measuring somehow on site. Or you could use, for example, satellite images if you want to, for example, renovate a roof or something. But these processes are very time consuming, unsafe, because, for example, people have to be on site, on the roof, somewhere in the building, on the outside, on the facade. And these processes are error prone. And in the worst case, I have to go back to my construction site and get more measurements because I didn't properly write them down. And what's the solution for all this? In the end, we only use the drone technically as a tool to get data from the building, from the structures. And with this data from the drone, we use our SaaS solution in order to provide data that our customers coming from solar, roofing, construction industry to work with 3D models from different levels of details. And what are the pro sides of the whole process? The drone can basically do that much faster. Let's say we have a building of around 20,000 square meters. We could capture this in around 20 minutes with a drone. It's safer because no one has to, for example, climb on the roof, and the processes that we have are standardized. Let's just have a little comparison why the drone data that we actually use is much better than, for example, satellite data. As you can already see on the left side, you have the satellite data, which has a lot of pixels, hardly to see how the roof is structured, what is the inclination, and I have no 3D measurements. All this can be solved with a drone. You can see on the right side the high resolution data. I can see basically every detail of the roof. I have real surfaces in 3D, real length and everything. So I have the data that I actually need for planning. Another reason is that the 2D data is already well known within the industry, but for your customers, it's also a point of sale where you can say, hey, I have this great 3D model. I can show you around. I can, for example, already do solar installation. I can change things in the 3D model. And this is how I sell basically the project to my customers and stand out from competition. Next reason is if you use the drone, you will always have up-to-date data. Example on the left side, the building that was just newly built is not even there, but with the drone data, you have the newest data. Even if something went wrong, let's say during construction or in the construction process, you could monitor this with the drone data and, if needed, act on this as soon as possible. And comparing to another source, which is LiDAR data, this is, of course, right now still harder to get the data. Drones are much easier in use, and with LiDAR data, you sometimes have problems to access, let's say, the roof, like hard to access areas of buildings, of structures, and this is what we are solving basically with the drone. On the right-hand side, you can see this very detailed engineering-grade drone data that was already processed by our algorithms. Why is the solution now so important for companies in the construction industry? We already talked about safety in the presentations before, so no need to talk about this again. The facilitation of work, making processes more digital, easier, and better in quality for our customers. There's the shortage of skilled workers, where you actually want your people who are basically who have learned to do certain things. They don't need to do technically measurements. They don't need to do these kind of stupid tasks that they get paid for, but they can actually do what they're supposed to do. Then we have the drone technology. The prices in the last 5 years have fallen from around 10,000 euros for 1,000 to 1,500 euros, which means every company, even if it's just 3 employees or 300 or 3,000, can afford this technology. And fifth point that speaks for us is the artificial intelligence and the potential that this technology has, and we should use it in one of the least digitized industry that is so huge and so important for all of us. What did we develop? We have our AirTeam Fusion platform, which is a cloud-based platform that you can access via your browser, meaning you can access it from every device anywhere in the world at any time. And you can use it with all your employees. Everyone can create projects, upload data, and basically work with the projects and get the data for planning and construction. How does it work? You can basically create a project on our platform. You do the drone flight, upload the data, and then this is where the magic happens. This is where our software basically starts working. Then we create out of the image data that we get from the drone, 3D models, and what you can see on the lower part of this slide is that our software can automatically detect edges and corners and everything. It can recognize objects on the roof like chimneys, vents, etc. And it can automatically then with this data create CAD models for 3D planning in other software or whatever you need to plan. And we have a semantic classification, meaning the whole roof in this example is also analyzed in its parts. And yeah, basically, this is what we provide. You get the relevant information that you need in order to plan or work with your project. Next off, what do we all deliver besides what I've just said, like 3D CAD data? We also have measurement reports. For example, if you need a report in a PDF file for the roof, for the facade, basically everything of the building shell. We have, of course, our 3D models that you can interactively use. You can measure inside, you can do solar planning. We have integrations with other softwares, meaning all the data that you request can be used in wide variety, basically. Where the current customers coming from, basically from roofing, solar, serving real estate and construction industry. Since we are based in Germany, this is our main market right now, but we also, of course, have projects all over the world. We had our first project in Africa, we had projects in Latin America, and also have like big partners such as 1,5 Grad, which is operating Europe-wide, doing solar installations, just as an example. What are the benefits? I think I've talked a bit already about it. With the drone, you can save time and money, meaning you can work up to 90% faster than with conventional methods. You can secure competitive advantages because you are faster and you work more cost efficient. And you can also decide who flies. So AirTeam offers on the other side also the opportunity to basically get an AirTeam pilot who does the drone flight, who uploads the pictures. So you could basically have a whole project created from your desk in the office, and you would get the data. You don't even have to be on site. And last but not least, we have the skilled customer service, people who are working with drones every day, who are coming from construction site. So we know exactly what our customers need and can help them right away if there are any questions. This is the AIR team. We are around 20 people now, growing month by month. And yeah, that's technically already it. That was AIR team, our SaaS solution. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them anytime.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Thanks for presenting us AIR team. Do we have any questions from the audience? And once again, we'll pass along Adrian's and the AIR team contact. So don't hesitate also to send me an email if you want to be put in touch. Thanks, Adrian, for taking the time.
Thank you.
Talk soon. Well, I'm now very happy to welcome our fourth and final startup. So BKY and Sakti, who is the CEO. BKY is a platform which uses advanced data analytics and AI to monitor infrastructure and provide real-time insights into the structural health of buildings. Hi, Sakti. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. Can you see my screen and can you hear me?
Yes, 100%.
I'll get started then. So let's see. So my name is Sakti. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called BKY, and my own background is from the construction sector. So I spent much of my career working in either design or construction of major civil infrastructure, bridges, tunnel, road, rail, buildings, all that kind of stuff, as well as working on behalf of asset owners in trying to protect, upgrade, and maintain existing infrastructure assets. I then went back into academia and did a PhD on a combination of data analytics, developing novel methods, and making use of satellite data. So BKY is actually a spin-out from the University of Cambridge and the Centre for Smart Infrastructure and Construction, also in Cambridge, and effectively the platform is something I'm going to tell you a little bit about now. So what are we working on? Our problem that we're trying to address is the unexpected construction damages, infrastructure failures, and wasted maintenance investments that we have across the industry that cost millions to fix per project. So what do I mean by that? This could be in the kind of construction phase. If you're building say in this picture, a big complex in a complex urban environment, and what you're trying to do is mitigate the risk of things going wrong, both on your own site, but also damages to third-party assets, adjacent buildings, underground assets, all of that kind of things. You want to reduce those risks. Then when we have existing assets, so existing tunnels, road, bridges, this kind of thing as well, we have the increasing risk of both aging, deteriorating assets, as well as the problems of climate change and the kind of new environmental challenges that that's putting on our infrastructure stock. And so we're trying to help both construction companies and asset owners mitigate those risks. So in the kind of last 5 to 10 years, there's been a huge amount of new data, new satellites, new sensors, new openly available geospatial data sets. And so with that comes a huge opportunity, but there's also a secondary problem. What use is a flood of great data if it drowns users in noise and complexity? So, what's the point of collecting data for the sake of data when we don't understand if there's a real value within that data set? And the way most people tend to deal with data historically in our sector is the classic Excel spreadsheet, and at best, probably some kind of sort of visualization, so plots and graphs. And again, this makes sense if you have a handful of sensors or a small surveying project. But when we're starting to get into hundreds of data points, or sensors that can collect data every 20 minutes, or satellites that fly around and collect data every few days, this generates a huge volume of data. And 600,000 lines of Excel, it just isn't cutting it anymore. One step up from that is what the current competition provide, which is a series of visualization platforms. There are plenty of platforms out there where people will take data from sensors or satellites, and they will plot them on a graph. So how an object on the ground is moving over time, or tilting over time, or how the environmental variable is changing over time, all with lots and lots of plots. And we still have this issue. Well, within that sea of data, what's the most relevant thing we're trying to find? So for us, the way we address that is through our cloud-based software platform, where we try to detect, diagnose, and predict. So that is detect and visualize potential problems in either your structural ground assets, diagnose why those things are happening. So is something moving a lot because that's just how it should behave in its normal day-to-day life? Or is there something unusual happening because of the construction activity or because our asset is changing over time? And then in addition to looking backwards, we want to look forwards and predict what's going to happen. So forecasts on construction projects look like things like advanced alerts, so a predicted breach of threshold rather than actually reacting to thresholds, or understanding where your asset might go in the future. So the way we do that is through a software engine with our own proprietary data technology. And into that system, we input a whole variety of different sensors. So this could be in situ sensors on construction sites on the ground. This could be geospatial data. This could be environmental data, things like temperature, tide. We have site annotations and inspection activities and things like INSAR satellite data. So these new forms of satellite data that can tell us something about our asset. And I'll show you an example of that in a moment. And the idea behind that is that we not only just put all of that together, but we use the technology to try and understand within that sea of data, where are the key anomalous points, what's going to happen to the structure next, and then help construction companies as well as asset owners make decisions about their site. So in terms of what people do for monitoring now, there's a whole range of things, starting on the one end of the scale, visual inspections, then moving up to surveying, manually and automated monitoring. We've got sensors, we've got these kind of visualization platforms, and in the last 10 years, there's been a kind of bloom of satellite-related companies and technologies which provide additional wide area data and information. And so what we're doing is we actually treat all of these as feeds. So rather than saying we're competing with these people, these are people that we collaborate with. All of these come into our platform. And so we're doing more than the visualization. We're actually doing the data analysis to identify risks and try and forecast when they're going to happen so that we can make predictive and preventative maintenance decisions. So I just want to provide an example of what things like satellite data can do. So this is a form of radar data called INSAR. And so each of these data points here contain a time series about how that point on the ground has been moving over time. So this is an area in central London where they have done a bit of tunneling work for a new underground station where the mouse is moving. And as we can see here, these points, we can see exactly where the tunneling has happened. And actually we can measure how that's been moving to millimeter scale over time. So compared to both sensors and surveying, this is a hugely valuable data set in that it's wide area. It's not collected as often, but it goes backwards in time. So we have a situation where maybe we have not collected any data on a site, but now we can make use of satellites to understand how that asset has been performing historically, and therefore understand what is normal for that asset and what is a potential problem or risk. So overall, what we're trying to do is make construction and maintenance decisions with some level of confidence. So we've got all this information, loads and loads of different sources, but which of that is relevant and which will help us make a decision about what we want to do about our asset. And so the easiest way for us to explain that is through some of the examples and some of the customers that we work with. So we work with really big names in both construction companies, predominantly tier 1 contractors, but also in major infrastructure asset owners and operators. And the idea behind each of these cases is that we're trying to reduce risk and save potentially millions of pounds per project or millions of dollars. So what I'm going to take you through now is a couple of interesting case studies that we've worked with to kind of highlight what we might do. So this is Thames Tideway. This is London's new, what they call super sewer. So think of an underground subway-sized tunnel, basically to carry sewage through the centre of London and upgrade what was an old Victorian sewage system. But it is a multi-billion-pound project. We were deployed on Falconbrook Pumping Station, and so this is effectively a giant hole where we are putting people and plant to work in conditions that may be subject to flooding. So the whole underground space might flood with water. So without BQuai, we have this risk of potentially losing not only millions in the cost of the plant and equipment, but also this safety risk of putting people down a hole that could potentially flood. And the way they can manage that without BQuai is to possibly look at the weather forecast and make some guesses around when there are likely to be heavier rains. with BQuai, we were able to stream in a number of different sensors that they had installed, measuring levels, and also scraped in a huge amount of environmental data in the area to develop forecasts going forward. So we can see what was going to happen and where we were likely to have breaches and trigger levels. And so therefore help the site team plan proactively when to put people and equipment down in this hole and avoid those safety risks, and also plan more profitably what they're going to do for their site activities. Other kinds of things we work on are buildings, especially those in dense urban environments. So we've worked on things like airports, football stadiums, and this is an example called the Whiteley Shopping Centre in central London. So without BQuai, we're reacting to trigger levels, we're potentially damaging third-party assets, and we're having to react and fix things as they occur. With the BQuai platform, they were able to save millions by forecasting potential breaches. So using our forecasting system to say when we were likely to breach a trigger level, combine various sources of data together and understand whether the movement that's occurring is something we should be worrying about. So is the asset moving just because that's within normal temperature behaviors, or is this actually something we should step up and pay attention to? Next, there's a strategic highway asset, a bridge in the UK owned by National Highways and supported by the consultancy WSP. So without BQuai, there was a potential issue where a visual inspection had spotted that there was something changing in this bridge. They were only able to survey the bridge once every 6 to 8 weeks due to cost limitations. And without BQuai, this would have resulted in unplanned closure of a strategic road network. That would have cost additional emergency access and maintenance works, costing tens of millions, as well as the complications of shutting down a key road network. So with the BQuai platform, it gave National Highways the confidence to keep that highway structure open and avoid the cost of emergency maintenance work. So they deployed us for 2 years until the period of planned maintenance when they could fix the issues that they were concerned about. In this case, this is one of the examples where we were able to make use of historic satellite data and combine it with their survey data and provide a kind of holistic solution of what was actually happening and what could happen going forward. And finally, we work with companies on various road and rail strategic networks. For example, Equitix, who are a fund that manage infrastructure assets on behalf of national infrastructure owners. So they typically take on an asset for a period of 10 to 20 years before having to return it. And in some cases, we worked on slope failures, which they had rising costs of first $100,000 rising up to $500,000, and with plans to potentially have to spend $2.6 million to fix the whole scheme. Using our platform, we were able to scrape in both environmental data, satellite data, and some of the data that they had collected, and actually show why things were happening and explain that actually the risk was relatively reduced. So they did not have to actually spend the additional $2.6 million and can do only the preliminary works that they had planned. Other examples include station platforms and other bits where, again, without the platform, they would have had to spend nearly $3.25 million in an avoidable rebuild situation, whereas our platform was used to assess risks and also provide evidence for handover. So when they hand that asset back over to the initial owner, they can do that with an understanding of why they made the decision and a scope of risk that they can explain to their end client. So that's what we do, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or to speak to anyone in the future about it. Those are my details. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sakthi, for this very interesting presentation of BQuai. Do we have any question from the audience? All right, you have Sakthi contact. We'll send you all the presentation decks also, and let us know if you want to be put in contact with the BQuai team. Well, allow me to thank all of our today's guests. So thanks for the very complete introductions of Civic Labs and ELISDON, and thanks to all the startups for your presentations. It was really insightful. Don't hesitate to take the discussions to the next step, and we're here for that too. We have more events coming soon. Our next online innovation session will take place in January, and will be focused on smart cities. So we'll be sharing more info about that with all of you very soon. So thank you. Thanks to everyone who turned in today's session, and we hope to hear from you very soon. See you all in January, and have a great evening or rest of day for our friends from North America.